Welcome to the Superhero of Love podcast. I am Bridget Fonger, and I wrote a book called Superhero of Love, Heal Your Broken Heart, and Then Go Save the World. My book is all about helping people love and be loved more than ever. I believe we all have a superhero of love inside of us. Yes, even you, superhero. And in this podcast, I talk to people who are all about helping us all tap into that superhero. May this episode make a difference for your heart. Let's get this party started.
No, it wasn't weird. It teared me up a little bit. I've been having a rough day today and running a foundation, so I'm honored that we're doing this today. Just so many women are going through trauma, and that's why I haven't really been on social media. People don't think this is real, but this is real. We have volunteers, and it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. I am blown away by how steady you are, no matter what the circumstances. Can I just admit to you that even if I had one person in my life asking for one of the things, like one young teen mom looking for diapers and food for her babies, just one circumstance like that, I would be overwhelmed. My heart would be overwhelmed. And you have tens of those every day. And I'm sure that's growing even more and more with the pandemic and with everything that's going on in the world. And you are steady and you are so grounded always. I'm blown away by you.
Thank you. A lot of prayer. I'm going to be honest with you. I never told anybody, but there's two books that inspire me to be who I am. And that's Liz Gilbert, Eat, Pray.
Eat, Pray, Love. Yes.
And Jennifer Pasloff, Being Human. I always had a thing of my weight because I am a large woman, but those two books have helped me to go forward with so much.
I know you. We have to give a major shout out to Jen Pasteloff because I know you because of Jen Pasteloff. I am sitting in front of you right now because of Jen Pasteloff, because she posted about you. And so I've been following you and madly in love with you from afar for all that you're doing. This is the Superhero of Love podcast. And I'm sure you didn't have any time to look this up, but I just want you to know that the purpose of this podcast is to inspire people to love and be loved more. And we call people that do that superheroes of love. And so I'm considering you, we all consider you a superhero of love, because that's what you're out there in the world doing. You're doing it through money and food. So let's take a step back and tell them what you do. So tell them what you do now. Black Fairy Godmother Simone Gordon. Tell them what you do and tell them how you came to what you do now, running this foundation and helping people every day.
My son was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder in 2013. I lost my job after that. I became homeless and I had to live with my mom, my dad, and my brother in a 2-bedroom apartment. And my son's father walked out on me and went with another woman. So I was getting like $200 a week from unemployment, and Jarvis needed, his special formula. He needed Depends because he had issues with being potty trained. He just learned how to walk at the age of 18 months. So it was a lot. And I had a breakdown. I went to social media and I asked people, where can I get help for my son? Because it's like all these doors are closing on me and pantries don't always have what he needs, because I was eating from food pantries. People told me, contact 211. And I went ahead, I contacted 211. They had an operator. I had my notebook ready. They provided me with a list of numbers. Half of the numbers were disconnected. Some of the nonprofit agencies were no longer in service. They gave me two of one of the large nonprofits that help, people all over the world. And it's like a waiting list. You had to either leave a message or it was a waiting list. So I got fed up because I only had one can of formula left. I didn't want to go into Walgreens that was close by my house to steal the formula. So I went back on to social media and asked, where can I get emergency help? So there was a young lady who was a Facebook friend of mine. I think she came from an autism group or whatever the case may be, and said there was a group called Reparations, Offerings, and Requests. And it's basically for women of color to go in and request for emergency needs. So I was led into that group. It was ran by a woman named Natasha Marin. And I went in and I said, hey, my son is severely autistic, nonverbal. I'm in need of diapers. I'm in need of food and special formula. And it was 4 women who went ahead and went on Amazon, order it. On one woman, she went ahead and PayPal me $300 to get groceries and temporary formula. And these women just start talking to me and said, well, what is it that you need? I told them what's going on. I'm living with my parents in a 2-bedroom apartment, and my brother gave up his room so that he can sleep in the living room so me and my son can have a place to sleep. And she said, well, you're laid off? I said, yes, and I only have about 3 more unemployment claims that are left. I don't know what I'm going to do. My son's father ran off with another woman. And she said, well, what is your dream? I said, I want to go back to school. I dropped out of school in 2008 because I couldn't afford it. And my parents became disabled. So at the time when I was living with them, at that time, I was helping out financially until I met my son's father and I got on my own and things just went left. So to make the long story short, they said, well, what's so hard about enrolling back to school? Enroll back to school. I said, I owe a bill. It was about $748 or $758. One of the women, her name was Kara, and she said, let me write you out a check. She wrote me out like a check, but it went to PayPal. I went to Essex County College. I paid it off. Then there were the other women. One name was Kathy. One name was Kimberly Rumberg. And the other one name was Claire, and Claire's from Seattle, Washington. And these women helped me get back into school. They told me as long as I'm in school that they will help me with my son and him, getting special services. And I said, you know what? I have to do something. I have to speak on what's going on and what is causing women of color not being able to get on their feet. It's just that we don't want to. It's just that we don't have the resources. And my voice got heard on Facebook. I started fundraising for women on my Facebook platform. I did a special needs Christmas where special need kids all over had got Christmas. They created Target, Amazon, and Walmart wish list, and it was inspired because of my son Jarvis. And I went from 4 women to 12 women, and it's just something that grew. And that's how I met Jennifer Pasteloff. And she said, you gotta, go further with this. And I went ahead and I opened an IG account, and a young lady who I was working with at the time helped me create it. I created an IG and went from 100 followers in October to 500 followers in November. And in December, I went from 3,000 because of Liz Gilbert, who saw the potential in me and who believed in me and was like, this girl is living in a room with her son who's not rich, who doesn't come from wealth, and she's given everything to all these women. Not only do I feed people, but I help these women get stabilized. I said, hey, you're going to go to school like me, or you're going to open a business like me. And some of the women go, well, I don't have high school diplomas. Okay, we're going to help you. And it just grew into something big. I am now 21.8K strong of volunteers all over the world, even Canada. I have some New Britain people that are coming in. And they're, I don't know, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm happy. COVID-19 hit, and I got creative. And a lot of my followers stepped in different states. They went grocery shopping for people. They went to pharmacies to get medicine and formula. People were mailing formula and toilet paper across the U.S. to families who couldn't afford it and sending cards. I posted that on Instagram. It just grew into something big. And I'm honored and blessed as a woman of color, as a single mom of a severely autistic child, a mom who only has $700 a month in income, to be able to bring people together.
I love the stories too, where you really are like physically bringing people together, like physically people deliver things sometimes. A lot of times we're ordering stuff or giving you money or giving Venmo accounts money, but sometimes people actually go to people's houses, right? And bring things to them. It's so beautiful.
And I have them meet each other. There's one woman who said, I don't have money, but I run a boutique. I said, oh, well, I have a mom who said she needs clothes. She said, well, I have some clothes here, and it comes to happen. It was her size. She said, well, can I meet up with her and have lunch? I said, hey, let me ask the mom, you want to exchange numbers? Yes, they exchanged numbers, and they're like the best buds. They help one another.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And you are more than helping them with money, like you said. I love that you also ask, just like that woman asked you, what is your dream? And you ask people that consistently. Like, you don't want to know just what's going to get them through the day or the week or the month. You're not interested in just surviving. You're interested in creating whatever dreams that they want to create, right, with them.
Stability. Yes, long-term stability, because they cannot always be in emergency mode. They always can't need food every month. It has to be a plan. So I make vision boards with these women, 90-day vision boards to 6 months. I don't know if you follow my IG, but there's a young lady who was in Texas who was homeless, living in a hotel. So I said, okay, you need food, you need diapers, you need formula, and you need your hotel paid. I'm going to do all that for a month. I raised the funds on IG. I said, but you're going to go back to school. She goes, how to do that? I don't know how to. She didn't know how to apply for school. Some people just don't know.
Yep.
So we had to have one of our volunteers go to the school with her, volunteer. And now she, we raised the funds for her to be a medical assistant. The course was $1,500 at a local community college. And we got that done. And look, she has her own place. We found her a affordable place. We did a Target wish list. We decorated the home with Target, and she's loving it. She is loving it. She's like, you are the Black Fairy Godmother. All these different stories you guys see, like Oklahoma, Texas, New York, Miami, all of these mothers are coming from domestic abuse, sexual assault, being homeless. Just the list goes on, and look at them now.
It's hard to come back from that love. It's hard to, first of all, it's hard for a lot of us to even muster up energy to be extraordinary during the pandemic, right? Period. And then I can't even imagine having to muster up energy to survive if I didn't have income. And then on top of that, you're dealing with trauma. And that's what's extraordinary about you, is that you're dealing with all the levels, and you're going to their heart. Like, it's not just their bank accounts. You're going straight to their heart. All of this stuff is helping them heal their heart. Like, the clothes on their body make them feel better. Their surroundings, a more beautiful house. Like, I saw that amazing video when the woman was touring with the new beds for her kids. Her kids had never had beds before. Like,
and this is real.
You truly are the Black Fairy Godmother. So your parents are still disabled. So you're taking care of your parents, and you're taking care of your son, and you're taking care of you, and you're going to school for nursing, right? And you're running full-time. You're running a nonprofit to help these women. Honestly, how are you doing it? How do you take care of your own heart amidst all of that?
I don't. I wake up 4 a.m. to take care of my son, change his diaper, make sure he's good, have to prepare him for online school. But before then, I used to prepare him for school, make sure his uniform is ironed, make sure he's okay with homework, whatever the case may be, because he's on the spectrum, he's nonverbal, and he's low functioning. So after that, I have to prepare myself for school. I don't have self-care. My phone is ringing constantly. People don't understand. They think, oh, this girl's asking for money. But before we put any fundraiser out there, my volunteers go into the communities and states in which these women are requesting help from, to make sure there's resources first before we even vet any requests. That's why at times you guys used to laugh. I used to take pictures of me being in classroom asking for coffee because I needed it. And one lady was like, I'm going to buy you coffee for a whole month, because how are you doing this? I had a breakdown during COVID-19. I just broke down in my room, and it was so much. People were panicking. One mom was suicidal.
Deal with a lot of suicide. I'm wondering, is it increasing now? I'm just, because we're not hearing about it necessarily.
Because legally I can't talk about it, but we do deal with that a lot, because some moms don't have food, or their food stamps got cut off because during the pandemic they were doing overtime, and sometimes when you do overtime, the state cuts off because you make us like $5 or $10 over the little chart they have. A lot of domestic violence situations, as you can see, we were fundraising for Airbnbs and housing because it was domestic issues.
Yeah.
We did a lot.
You're on the front lines, and we're not on, so most of the people listening to this podcast are not on the front lines knowing what's really going on. And this is this kind of stuff that's not in the news. We're not hearing daily reports of domestic violence or suicide scares. And I know that you've also lost a lot of people to COVID, which is yet another weight on your heart.
We lost a lot of family members. One of my professors passed away from COVID-19. One of my followers who's been with me for a couple months found out that she passed away from COVID-19, and she was in California, and that touched me because it's like people are following you, but a lot of these followers are like my family. And it's funny that I'm a Black woman saying that, but the reason why I call a lot of you guys in my family because you guys are also uplifting me, uplift these women, not just with money, just with, cheering them on when I post, hey, this person's going to school, or this person got a new bra, or this person's getting it makes them feel good. Like for Mother's Day, when we had Adopt a Mother, a lot of women were like, wow, these mothers are asking for bra, underwear, soap, perfume. I said, because they don't have it. Mm-hmm. One woman put tampons up there, and it was a woman who got real emotional. It was like, this mom needs a gift, and she's putting toiletries on there.
Yeah.
Where's the self-care? I said, some people just don't have it.
Yeah.
You don't have it.
And I just want to acknowledge that you said, because a lot of people when they look at lists like that or whatever, sometimes people look at lists and have judgments, right?
I had that Saturday. There was a mom. Certain situations we are not allowed to disclose. There is a child with a disorder that we cannot legally say. And the mom posted an Amazon wish list of 2 boxes of diapers, 2 boxes of wipes, and a humidifier. Even though, people bought it and the list went, one follower decided to look up the name, because when you check out the person's name and their city and state, took her information, went on Facebook looking for her, and shamed this 21-year-old girl.
Oh, no.
And I put it on Facebook. I said, how dare any human being to shame somebody for asking for diapers and wipes for her child? You don't know what a person mental is, and you don't know what the health issue is. You don't know the reason why she needed those 2 boxes of diapers. Right. I took offense of it because I'm a special needs mom, and Jarvis used to go through a box of diapers or Depends in a week.
Wow.
And that young girl, we had to calm her down. She was just
my gosh.
I'm a failure.
Traumatic.
Right.
Yeah. That's yet another trauma.
Yeah, we have 2 people who are volunteer therapists. I had to contact them because this weekend I just wanted the weekend to be with myself, my family, and my volunteers. We just wanted to chill out. And when we got that, it's like a 21-year-old girl who's working at a grocery store. She doesn't have much. And all she said is, Black Fairy Godmother, can you help me get Pampers? I'm running out. You don't shame people. And some people will look at the wish list and go, oh, they're asking for this, they're asking for that, or they're asking for lotion, or we cannot do that.
Yeah.
We can't.
Right. That's not love. I loved what you posted about your day off. You said, finally a day off, but I still continue to help families in needs. Even though Black Fairy Godmother put down her wand, we still have families who need help. Feels so good for the sun to hit my face. My team deserves these days off, but indeed you didn't really take days off. The intention was to take days off, but you never get days off because there's always an emergency waiting for you to be attended to. I just want to say I'm worried about you.
I'm worried about myself. Jennifer had a private conversation with me, and I don't really have private conversations with Jennifer, but she is concerned about, my health, my well-being.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of support when it comes, because my son needs 24-hour care. She's worried about self-care. She's worrying about me having a housekeeper or me making sure I have food. And we talk about certain private things. And I broke down. It's like there's a lot of politicians and a lot of influencers out here that are making so much money. And if you go into some of their comments, you see people begging for food, begging for a free t-shirt, or who's saying, I keep contacting the government office for my unemployment. And we're consistently pumping these influencers and these politicians Patreon. We're donating to them, but do we actually know where the money is going?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because on my Instagram, I'm showing you guys testimonials and where the money is going, because I was just like these families. We're idolizing all these big people who have millions of followers or over 900 followers, but what are they actually doing? Are they actually donating some of those Patreon money to families? Are they actually on ground visiting a senior citizen that is scared to come out because of COVID-19?
Yeah.
Everybody could read a book and talk about history and talk about, white supremacy, and the list goes on, and hate and Trump. I'm so sick of hearing that word Trump, but we could talk about those things. But can we talk about some positive things as to what we're doing to overshadow all the negative crap that's going on?
There you go. Right. Just overshadow the negative with the positive. Right. So reach out to somebody who needs, go to the wish list. So there is a constant list of wish lists. You go to the Black Fairy Godmother official on Instagram, and you'll see in her Instagram link that you get a whole page and you can choose what you want to give to. I used to give to Kiva, right, which gives money. Kiva's that organization that gives money, and I loved that you got to choose who you gave things to, who you got to support. So you're my new Kiva now, right? It's super fun to choose somebody that you can make a difference for. Like right now, you can instantaneously make a difference. Like that's a good investment in this racial shit going on, right?
I had a man inbox me crying that he saw that a mom don't have a bed. Him and his wife bought a bed for this woman. They bought her dresser drawers, and they bought her a beautiful queen-size comforter with fluffy pillows. And she thinks she is like Diana Ross. And she's like, are these people real? And she's crying. And I'm like, sir, how did you get all this? He said, I went with my coworkers, and I was having lunch one day, and I spoke to them about you. And they decided to get on the wish list and buy.
Oh, that's so awesome. Yes. So this is the answer. We don't have to turn toward the negative. We can turn toward the positive and just make a difference in somebody's life.
And he felt relief. He's like, I felt like, he said, when I'm driving home from the lunch, me and my wife was like, we did something. This person's going to have a good night's sleep. This person's going to smile.
Yeah.
And even though they did not know who she was, it's such a good feeling to know that this woman don't have anything, but she makes sure her child has. That's all she kept writing. Ma'am, can I have a bed even if it's used?
Yeah. You mentioned just now, and you mentioned everywhere else too, not just, so you're dealing with a lot of mothers who have been the victims of abuse and all different, and people that have lost their jobs in COVID. So many of those extraordinary circumstances, and young mothers that have been left by their partners, and all kinds of horrible circumstances. And you also, though, you're not ageist at all, because you're also saying, like you just said, if you can go and just have lunch with an elderly person that just needs company. Do you get requests like that too from people that just need some love?
I have a few people who have disabilities, and I have some of the elderly people who just want to chat with me. And I'm like, I don't have all day to chat, but we do have some volunteers who will chat with them. And they cry. They go, I'm lonely, or I don't want to watch the news because I'm afraid I'm going to die if I go outside.
Right.
There's
a lot of fear. That's another thing that you're dealing with is people's fear.
Yeah.
So all of your volunteers are helping people hold their heart in a way.
And they're regular people like you and I. They have 9 to 5s. Some of them are retired. We have a few who are retired. Some of them are in the healthcare field. Some of them are lawyers. Some of them they're just volunteers, and they tell their families, they tell their children, and now they're teaching their children, hey, those pair of jeans that you want to throw in the garbage, you're not throwing the garbage. Clean them up and give it to a young boy or a young girl in your school who's in need. So it's like, I just feel blessed that I'm able to help people, get to understand what's going on.
A lot of people that are stuck at home, maybe they have lost their jobs and they feel like they can't do anything, or they don't have money to give. There are other things to give, like you said, like just being a volunteer for you and offering to take things places or talk to people on the phone. So there's a million different ways that people can be of service, even if they have no money themselves.
Million different ways. You don't have to have money to give.
I just want you to talk about, because I just love how you talk about taking care of each other's hearts and just let's all take care of each other. So preach is what I'm asking you to do, Simone. Preach on taking care of each other, because you are the queen of inspiring us to take care of each other and to reach out, and not, in this COVID time when we're stuck in our houses and it's a time where people are pulling more inward. You're asking us to reach out and help take care of somebody.
We need to understand and come into realization that the world will never be the same. We have dealt with hundreds and thousands of years of hate, greed, disloyalty, the list goes on. COVID-19 has changed us. COVID-19 has changed everybody's heart, whether you're white, black, Chinese, whatever the case may be. Yes, the black community has suffered a lot, but as we saw, we ran out of toilet paper, Lysol, hand sanitizer, meat, food. Let this opportunity right now show you guys that we really need each other, because within 3 months, we turned into a third world country. We didn't know how to survive. We need to continue to have that mindset going forward.
Wow, that's beautiful.
The love that we all pull through, it's making me emotional, Look at these kids, they had to stay inside. A lot of children didn't go to the prom. A lot of college students weren't able to graduate. Look at the elderly who were scared to come outside. People were pulling food out of their homes just to feed a neighbor or feed a coworker.
You posted a really great meme the other day. There are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. Like, even in the midst of your hardest days, you're consistently posting things like that. Like, even though there are people suffering, just keep taking one step in front of the other. There are so many beautiful things to be happy about.
It is.
Thank you for taking care of the thousands of hearts that you've helped, because every person that you allow to help someone, their heart gets a healing. Everybody in that situation, their heart gets a healing, and you're out there every single day on the front lines, healing hearts, and also inspiring people to follow their dreams, which is, it's way more than just giving money for Pampers, right? That's step number one. But you are a stand for everybody stepping into their greatness.
That's right.
So, and you are following your dream of becoming a nurse.
Yes. And soon I will follow my dream. I'm praying. I am going to open a transitional home for women.
Yes.
I'm going to create vision boards. I have that dream. I don't know if that dream will come about, but I'm going to have a GoFundMe, and there is a piece of property that I want to talk to everybody about. My grandmother has been my hero. She passed on 5 years ago, and she has a home that's just sitting there, and the family is selling it. And I said, my grandmother opened her home to people who were homeless, people who didn't have food, She used to let people come over and eat in the community. So I have my vision of turning her home into a transitional home where I can give women 90 days to 6 months to get themselves together. 7-bedroom home, 2 bath. I will continue to be Black Fairy on Instagram, but I need to put my money where my mouth is and to keep that dream alive.
Oh my God, that's a great dream. Is that in New Jersey? You're in New Jersey. Is the home in New Jersey?
The home is in New Jersey, but my dream is to open one in New Jersey, California, and Florida, because those are the highest states of women who are homeless with children.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
If you Google it, yes. The three
Wow.
highest states, and that's because the cost of living is very expensive in those states.
That is so inspiring. Oh my God, we're gonna make that happen. We'll spread the word about that. And as soon as you have a GoFundMe for that, I'll start spreading the word about that, obviously. So my prayer for you is that you get support, the support that you need. And I just want to say, you can call me anytime. You have my cell phone.
Because I just want to vent sometimes, I don't have anybody to vent to, or my cousin Yvonne, she's always there, but she's like a second mom to me. And if I'm not feeling well, like this weekend, she made me take off, but I couldn't because I had to help that 21-year-old who was just traumatized that someone would bully her over having 2 boxes of diapers. But
Yeah, no, if any time of day or night, if you want to call and just yell, you can call and yell, or you can call and cry. Either one, yelling or crying, I invite them.
Good. Thank you. I need that, Bridget. I need that.
Well, we're all out there helping each other carry our hearts, right? Like last week, my heart was so incredibly heavy, and I had to reach out to friends to help them carry my heavy heart. Like sometimes it's just too heavy, right?
Yes.
To carry by yourself.
Yes.
So you need some extra arms. So I would like to be your extra arms whenever you want extra arms.
I'm okay with that. I need all the love that I can get, man.
So thank you so much for everything that you're doing, Black Fairy Godmother, Simone Gordon. And again, I'm going to put in the podcast notes, but it's on Instagram, you guys. Just find the Black Fairy Godmother official. The Black Fairy Godmother official, and you'll see the link. Do you see my dog is giving you some love too?
Yes, and I love it. Oh, I love when they have the wet black nose.
Thank you so much for doing this, Simone. Hopefully we'll get you some more followers and some more volunteers and some more money coming your way.
Thank you so much, and have a blessed night.
How amazing is she? Superhero of love extraordinaire, Simone Gordon, the Black Fairy Godmother official on Instagram. I can't tell you how amazing it is to give to the campaigns and feel like you're actually touching somebody's life that really, really needs it. So get ye over there if you feel inspired. And if you like this podcast, please go rate, review it, subscribe to it, tell your friends about it. We need more superheroes of love like Simone Gordon and you in the fold. So thanks for coming today, superhero. Have a great day.